Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Standing up straight. Now, this video is mainly for the young men because I would hope that the older men listening can co-sign what I'm saying because they've lived this type of way themselves. But standing up straight. What do I mean when I say standing up straight? Standing up straight means standing on your principles, standing on your values. Even in cases where standing on those principles and values may cost you something. That's when you know that you are truly a man because we have many men out here, they will make a lot of money, they will get some sort of status or try to have some status, have a car, have the house, have all the outer things, but may lack some basic principles. They might be the type that follow whatever and don't really have anything that they represent. Or to put it another way, a man wants to have the type of values, the type of principles, the type of code that stands up no matter what he has, no matter if he's making $10 a day or a million a day. It has nothing to do with his status. It has nothing to do with his car. But it's something that's intrinsic to him. And that code is what really makes a man a man. It's not it's not the muscles. It's not, if somebody has won the genetic lottery, that's still not what makes them a man. They could be 6'5" and muscular and hell, even have like a six-figure bank account, seven-figure bank account. But if they lack principles, if they lack values, if they lack something that they can stand firm on, then no, they're still not there. They're still not standing up straight. Because standing up straight means that man can stand no matter what is coming against him. Standing up straight means if a man is on a job and he sees or experiences something that goes against his principles, if necessary, not only can he bring that report it, but if necessary, he leaves that job. Now think about that for a second. How many men, honestly, just honestly, know if they can endure some foul shit on a job, some bullshit on a job, or maybe somebody lying on them, or they know that wherever they work, they engaged in some immoral practices or just some wrong shit. How many men can honestly say they will walk off that job if necessary? Take time on that one. Or how many men, if they say they on that job again and they get accused of something, like a big issue with many men is getting accused of whatever, something like sexual harassment or not doing their job. How many can look their supervisors in the eye and say that's some bullshit and if necessary, I'll fight you all the way to it? Think about that for a second. Because the reality is, many men acquiesce. They go along to get along because they're worried about losing something. Standing up straight means you're going to stand on that principle no matter what. No matter who you might lose, no matter what job, what woman you might lose. And that's an important thing. Standing up straight is important for women too. Well, in your dealings with women rather. Because I want you to think about something. A woman's nature is to draw your attention to her, to follow whatever her agenda is. Now, I'd had a video recently talking about simps. Simps don't stand up straight because, first of all, if they had some principles, they wouldn't simp. Now, how many men can say, look, I'm gonna stand on this principle, even if this woman says she's gonna leave me, even if this woman says she's not gonna have sex with me. That's standing on your principles. And you know when you really standing on your principles? When a drop dead gorgeous, whatever you like in a body type of woman is right there. She's butt naked, right in front of you. But to have sex with her, you would have to violate your code. Now, how many men can walk away from that? That's how you know you're standing up straight. And a little secret with women, by nature, yeah, they trying to get your attention and draw you to their agenda, but always, I don't care, even the best of women, they're gonna try you. They're gonna try you to see if you are who you say you are, if you're gonna stand on your principles. Because one thing about women, they respect a man. Listen to what I'm saying. They respect a man who can stand on his principles. And in my book, it's way better that a woman respects you than she loves you. And this isn't just about women, this is just about life, period. There are many men, sadly, you have men in their 50s, 60s, and 70s who don't stand for anything. They don't have any principles, they don't have any code. And it reflects in their success in life. It reflects that they follow whatever fad. You know, when you see 50-year-old men wearing their pants off their ass, you're looking at a man who is not standing up straight because that's a fad. It doesn't serve any purpose. They following the crowd. And those type of men, when they're that age, they're wondering how come things aren't going well for them. And trust me, I've seen it. I've seen it, and you know, I hate to talk about other men, but shoot, that's weak. You can tell because standing up straight, it's not just a physical thing, like just standing tall and looking that way. It is something eternal. It is something deep within every man. If he brings it forward, you can't bother. You can't. I mean, that type. I'm gonna tell you what. That type of man is incorruptible. If he has a certain principle, it's like no amount of money, no amount of threats, even a physical threat, nothing. His woman, nothing can like sway him from what his principles are, from his code. A million such men take over the world. Because if you look, many men, hell, I'd even say most men acquiesce to greater power because they don't have a principle. But once you stand on that principle, nothing. You're incorruptible. You can't be bribed. You can't be threatened physically. Because if you have a principle, if a man stands up straight, if he stands up straight on his principles, on his code, on his values, he has to be ready to die for them. And the man who is willing to die for his code is unbeatable. Because the goal of somebody to, uh, make you acquiesce to their goal is to keep you alive and break your spirit. But if you let them know, like no matter what, this is what I believe, this is what I stand for. Nothing can stop you. In fact, you're at peace because this is your code, and that code, it governs how you interact with women, with your children, with other men. Like if I one thing, and I've just over the years. This is just something personal to me. Different men, especially who've encountered me, even in situations where they might have been adversarial, they always respected my code because if I said I wouldn't do anything or if I would do something, they know I would keep my word. Even to this day, I do a lot of business deals without a written contract because that's what my word means to me. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. If I say I'm not going to do something, I don't do it. And if for whatever reason I have to change that, which is extremely rare, I'll tell the person like, look, this is why this has to be changed. But that I had to think real hard, probably to when I was young, when I even had to do that, because that's where my code developed. Because no, like I said around the beginning of this video, it doesn't. Whether a man has $10 in his pocket, a penny, whether he's homeless, whether he lives in a mansion. See, that mansion can be taken away. All of that can be taken away. I'll give you a little story. When I was a freshman in college, the apartment I was living in burned down to the ground. And understand, when I was a freshman in college, I was sporting. I would be going to classes wearing neckties and stuff. Had all my polos, had my matching polo socks. I had all this material stuff, and it went up in flames. Went up in flames. Walked out of there with bare feet and pajamas. And that lesson, that lesson I learned was that you know what, all this material stuff do not make you who you are. Who you are your principles, especially with men. That's our nature. Our nature is to be guided by a principle, to have that code. So for the men out there, especially the young men, because you know what, I hope and pray that any of the older brothers, the old heads listening to me, this message is just not even a reminder. They can co-sign. But for the younger brothers, because I know y'all been raised in these female-dominated households and in a society that tells you, hey, you got to do this, that, and the third, because this society wants you to be just a good consumer, basically a good slave. And that goes across for any man out there. Any man. This ain't just a black thing. You know, this goes for any man. The elite wants you to be a good consumer. They want you to be compliant. They want you not to put your foot down when your wife is about to make a stupid purchase. Because a man with principles, he gonna call it. He gonna like, hold up, baby, we don't need that. We not getting that. And see, it even gets deeper. Why building up men who are standing up straight isn't happening like it might have once happened maybe 50 years ago. Because men standing up straight, this would be a different type of society. And women should want that type of man, especially women who are afraid to walk down the street at night by themselves. Take time on that one. Think about what I just said. Because men standing up straight, we wouldn't see half the dysfunction. We wouldn't see half or even a third of the dysfunction we see out there. Because a man who stands up straight is going to regulate himself. So even women should want men to stand up straight. So that's my message. As I said in an earlier video, my thing is about evolution. And one thing on my main website, I talk mainly about just evolving, success, stuff like that, right? But in order to, the main thing a man needs, even more so than money, status, women. He needs to have that code. He needs to have those principles that he will stand up straight on. So that's it for this one. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.